Hello everyone and welcome to this live broadcast about what is the finger labyrinth and how it can support us in our daily life. Maybe it's the first time that you watch one of my video, and maybe you don't know that I've been working with esoteric numerology for quite a long time. I've been searching around looking for something, for some teaching that could support my own journey in the process of awakening. When I did learn esoteric numerology at the Cognizant School of Numerology in the UK, I got to know about sacred geometry, and we studied the Labyrinth. It is a very ancient archetype. It goes back in time. It is 4,000 years old. It was a symbol that humanity, came to in ancient times because they were looking for a way to support man's journey towards themselves. So practically it used to be a meditation tool, a contemplation tool, a tool that could be used to develop our own intuition and mainly to get in contact with the universal energy, with the cosmos. In ancient time, it was very clear to men that there was this strong, huge relationship between humanity and the cosmos. Now we have generally lost this concept, but in reality it's very strong, and even science affirm that we live, this universe is a big mind, and then we are part of it, and then we live in it. And they've even said that space does not exist. The beauty of the labyrinth from the sacred geometry point of view is the fact that it is a combination of the square and the circle. Sacred geometry came from the observation of nature. They started looking at nature in the ancient times, in order to understand how it was built. And then they realized that mainly nature is built on the concept of mimics the concept of the spiral, which is everything is a spiral in the universe. And I don't know if you know that even our heart works like a spiral. The baby comes out of the mother's womb like in a spiraling movement, with a spiraling movement. Think about the galaxies, think about a rose flower when they come up, think about the baby. Everything starts from the center, and that it develops with a spiral moving, coming out, and then it creates a sort of a circle. What they realized that the circle is, they associated it to the divine energy. In the circle, we have the circumference, and then we have the pi, the number that keeps going, it doesn't repeat itself, and it actually goes to the infinite, meaning that when we use the pi, we can build a building that can support our journey, our spiritual journey towards the divine, because the energy, the sacred geometry of the energy supports our aspiration to something much higher than us. So, for example, in Europe, the ancient churches were built in the concept of the Vesica Piscis, which is the combination of two circles. If the circumference of one touches the center of the other circle, we create a sort of an almond shape, which represents the joining together of spirit and matter. And energetically, it has the shape of a fish. Vesica Piscis means the almond shape with the shape of a fish. And that is representative of the possibility of humanity to join together these two aspects through the soul quality. In fact, for example, in the ancient churches, Jesus is depicted in an almond shape, And then from this almond shape, we can create a rectangular shape, which is normally used to be the main entrance in churches, used to be used to draw the churches, and therefore when men walked within a church or ancient temple, they could start feeling the energy and supporting when they pray or when they meditate, to support their connection with something much higher. The circle is very important, and the circle is symbolic of the divine, and it is symbolic of the cycle of time, because somehow, if you look even our astrology or even our year or even at nature goes through cycles, from spring to the following spring. We have the beginning of life, the maximum harvest of this energy, and then again we go, trees, flowers, they lose their leaves, they go through a process of death to start a new energy, with a new energy, to have a rebirth. Symbolically, when we connect to the circle, to a circular shape, we connect to time and to the cycle of time, and we connect to the divine. But there's also another shape that makes up the shape of the labyrinth, which is the square. And the square symbolically is also, think about the first chakra. First chakra is as the shape of a square, and is related to number 4, which is matter. So is matter, and therefore is space. The labyrinth has been created from the combination of the circle and the square, because we live in matter, but we go through cycles, and the process of matter is constantly, the aim of this cyclic energy is to take us through different experiences in order to have a rise in consciousness, because it's only through our experiences that we understand whether what we have chosen or what we believe is in alignment with our own soul. When they created the labyrinth, these big structures, the aim was really to support the journey of each human being, and mainly the journey to the center, to the inner center, because we do our inner center in our body, is in the area around the navel, and then it's there that when we meditate and we center, we are able, through that connection, to realign to who we really are. So it was used for prayer, meditation, and I'm not talking, when I talk about the labyrinth, I'm not talking about a maze, because the labyrinth has only one entrance, and which is also the only exit. So the only way out. It has only one way, which is also the way back. During the COVID, the pandemic disease in the last couple of years, what happened, and many people were working with the labyrinth, many people around the world that use this fantastic archetype in order to support the journey of humanity towards the inner self, the higher self. Because nobody could really go out because of the lockdown we had more or less around the world, everywhere around the world, they created what we know today, the finger labyrinth. The finger labyrinth, it can be done on a piece of cloth, or it has been created, made in wood, and so on. And then it is a fantastic meditative tool, because we can use this finger labyrinth every day in our life, every time we need to find a solution. Every time we need to understand something, every time we need a guidance, because we use our finger. This is why the name finger labyrinth, we use our finger in a specific setup, because we need to prepare the entrance and the inner connection with the labyrinth. We practically go slowly in, and the labyrinth has the capacity to catch us exactly where we are, which means whatever is the reason why we go in, it really is able to, on the way towards the center, to bring up within our mind, like really a meditation, all the resistances, all the doubts, all the mindset, all the experiences that have been a bit traumatic for us and that now influence our life and then do not allow us to really make the right choice and therefore align to our true higher self. So when we go to the center, when we reach the center, the beauty is really a fantastical connection with yourself. My students always tell me they would never, they would love to stay there. They would really, because they feel a connection with deep, strong connection with the inner self. And then it's sort of you reach at that, in that center a sort of a deep inner peace and tranquility. And then slowly, after a little while, you move back to the entrance, you move your finger back towards the way out. And then in that process, something else happens. What happens is actually we start feeling all the inner resistance that we may have in relation to applying what we believe, what we have understood in our lives, the fear of bringing out that qualities, but as we walk, we resolve. It's quite a long process, but it's very beautiful because when you come out of the finger labyrinth, you feel completely relieved and you really have an experience, a strong experience and a deep understanding of yourself. There are two kinds of labyrinth. There is the classical unicursal labyrinth, which is exactly this one that I've shown you. This is 11 circuits, but there are also 7 circuits, 11 plus the center and 7 plus the center. And also there is the medieval classical labyrinth that we can see in the cathedral in Chartres, in France. And finger labyrinth are available in both form, but also after you have experienced the finger labyrinth, is also very beautiful to go and walk and have an experience with a real labyrinth, because the experience there is even much deeper. We've, as International CSTO School, the 𝗪𝗙𝗕𝗎 in the northern part of Italy, close to Turin, we have built a real labyrinth, 11 circuits, and we have energized it with crystals and colors, because we really wanted to offer humanity a tool to work with themselves. It's actually in nature. 𝗪𝗙𝗕𝗎 is a beautiful area where there are practically only nature rules that space, because what we need to do as human beings, what we are asked to do, is really to reconnect with our true inner nature. So in this kind of spaces, you can really find yourself again. After building this labyrinth where we do organize courses, we also thought that it would have been really beautiful to create our own finger labyrinth. One that I'm showing you is really made with the cloth of 𝗪𝗙𝗕𝗎 by the Community for Life of San Patrignano here in Italy. So every finger labyrinth that is sold is going to support also this community with people working in order to break away, from a life that took them to a very challenging place for themselves. But what I wanted to say is that the way we have built it is because these 11 circuits plus the center, they represent the 12 colors of the color rose, the 12 zodiac sign, and the 12 main numbers. The name in numerology, in esoteric numerology, is the governmental order. And this 12, most of the time we forget. There are few numbers in sacred numerology that are really very important. One of them is 7 with 12. And 7 and 12 are very closely related because it's the 3 of the 7, and we have the 3, and the 4. In 7 we add them together, and we have also the 7 days of the week. So the 7 is the Trinity, and the 4 are the manifestation, according to the ancient teaching, the manifestation of the Trinity in matter, of the blueprint in matter. But we also have the 3 multiplied by 4, which gives us 12, and actually which relates also to the zodiac, which is it is an initiatic number. The aim, every time we walk through a 11 circuit labyrinth, because with the center is 12, we actually go through symbolically walk through the 7 levels of our own being. And so from the red, which is related to our feet, going up towards the magenta energy, which is above the head, and it's also related to our soul, is really a possibility to have a shift in consciousness at each level of our own being. So, because I really believe in this energy, and lately, some of my international students have asked me to organize some courses, I thought it would have been good to offer all those of you who would be interested a very small online webinar, which is Introduction to the Labyrinth, a journey to the center of our being. This course in order to give you a taste of what this tool can give you. You won't need to have this finger labyrinth, because we will send to you a file that you can print, and then with our colors and what we have in our house, we will create our own finger labyrinth, giving this labyrinth our energy, and then walk it together. It is a very small seminar. It's only 1.5 hours classes in which I explain you what a labyrinth is, where it comes from, and then we start connecting with its energy, and at the end we fully experience it. You do it the first time and you will love it. So it's truly an invitation to join this webinar. So if you want to have a look at the content of the course, you also can go on our website, internationalsheshoschool.com. It will open up in Italian, but check there is the possibility to switch to the English language, and so you can find all the connections. The webinar will be recorded, video and audio, so should you not be able to join because you will be of the time or because you are busy, you can also we will have the possibility to watch it for 7 days. This is an offer that I give you all, an offer to get in touch with something deeper that can be really a tool that after that class you can use by yourself. It's an introduction, just a little bit, just a taste, but you are given the possibility to know how much it can give you. And since I have experienced the power of this tool, I decided to start the training to become a facilitator in the Finger Labyrinth, and then develop courses as well. And I'm doing many courses here in Italy because people really love it. Hoping that this gift, this tool may offer you the understanding about yourself that it has given me. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.